Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, traders. Steve here at Logic FX Trading, and welcome to our FX analysis video on Monday, the 4th of September 2021. We'll just have a quick look at the economic calendar for the next 7 days, guys. We're on the 4th today, so tomorrow we've got Reserve Bank of Australia interest rate decision. Naturally, we'll not be looking at them to increase the interest rate, but we'll have to hear what they have to say about their bond buying exercise, guys. Then Canada, we've got balance of trade. New Zealand with interest rate decision as well. So that's going to be interesting to see if there's an opportunity between those two. So that would be Tuesday, that's Wednesday. Thursday, we've got inflation rate in Mexico. An ECB monetary policy meeting accounts. And then the big one of the week will be Friday then, guys, where we've got employment change and unemployment in Canada, non-farm payrolls in the United States, and unemployment. Now, the word that's being thrown around at the moment, guys, is stagflation, which isn't particularly good for us. Well, certainly not from a trading stocks point of view, but currencies, maybe we'll start to see some movement in currencies, guys, as individual reserve banks start to make moves back towards dealing with inflation, guys, back towards cutting back bonds, bond buying, starting to taper there. And at some point down the line, remember the currencies always react, 6 months, a quarter, 2 quarters, 3 quarters before things actually start to get hiked. Before rates start to get hiked. So we're going into that period now, guys. So hopefully the currency trading at least will be exciting from here on in. Let's just go over to the chart, see what alarms have gone off over the weekend. Aussie, Swiss, Euro, Aussie. So a bit of movement on the Aussie there. New Zealand, Swiss. And then Swiss yen and CAD yen. I don't really see a pattern in there. We'll have a look. Obviously, the yen. I see it pull back, guys. Let's go on. There it is there. Actually, we're on that chart. It pulled back. We were looking for a pullback, guys. Do you remember when we started this? We said, well, you're looking for a pullback, and then provided this looks right and the underlying fundamentals remain the same, we should then start to look for another short on there. So we've had a nice pullback. Obviously, nothing's guaranteed that it's definitely going to go from here, but I would say so, guys, because if you take a look out on the higher time scale, and you see where we've been for the last, for the whole of this year, basically with the yen, is it dropped, and then we've had this, what I believe to be a running flat, and now we've dropped out of that again. Now, it doesn't mean that it's immediately going to go and it's going to drop. It could hang around here for a while, guys. But I would say, unless something dramatic happens in the interim, I would say in, in a month or two down the line, and it could be a couple of weeks, guys, you don't know, but the yen will have dropped out of this structure that it's been in for a long time, guys. So we'll just keep an eye on that. Just go down to the 1 hour here. DXY, folks. Now, when we were pushing up here, I said, don't be getting long in there, guys. Wait for a pullback. And then if we get a pullback, we'll start to look for some long trades on the dollar. And I think that's going to still hold true. Can you go long from here? Well, you probably could, guys. We'll have a look at the, the currency pairs. But I'd prefer to see a bit more movement back into, not necessarily right down to there, but a little bit more to that, And then we'll see. Maybe Friday, when non-farm payrolls come out, we'll see a push up on the dollar, depending on how they come out, guys. If the market doesn't like what they see, then the dollar could go in the opposite direction. But I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think we're long for the dollar in the medium term. And then it'll start to turn and drop again, guys, as the rest of the world's federal banks get round to talking about cutting back their bond buying. Euro, which the UK's already started to do, by the way, and I was quite negative on the pound last week, but I was thinking a bit more about it over the weekend, and I thought to myself, well, if they're going to start hiking rates, which is what they said they may well have to do even before they finish tapering, then people are going to want to buy into that, guys. So there could be some upside to the pound, but we'll keep an eye on that. Euro USD, yeah, there's a little pullback. I'd like to see a little bit more pullback in here, guys, and then, we'll see another move short on that one. There's the pound dollar. Now, we were looking for pullback. We've got a nice pullback there. But given what I've just said about the Bank of England, I'm not so sure that this would be the best trade to try and take, guys. This could continue to push on up. But it's not going to go far, because if the dollar continues to strengthen, then this could end up, doing one of these sort of things. So it's not necessarily a good trade at this point. Aussie USD, they've got their interest rate decision. If they start talking about tapering, then you could well see a boost to the Aussie. Where are we in DXY? We could see a bit, if we saw that coming in, guys, then there could be a bit more upside here. But as I drew it here last week, I said you could pull back here up into that sort of area and then start to look for it to drop. So at the moment, I wouldn't want to trade against the dollar because, because I'm overall I'm long. And even if you get a trend, guys, for me, I like to trade with a trend, because you're just messing around if you start trying to, say that's the trend. That's your trend, and things are moving like that. And then they're pulling back and they're moving like that. Well, if you try to trade that bit there, you can get it wrong, guys, because we don't know how deep it will come. It could just turn and go on you. So don't try and trade the dollar short at the minute. And there you have it again. We were looking for a pullback on the New Zealand USD. As I say, don't try and trade this long in this place, short the dollar. Wait for it to taper out, and then we'll try and trade her down, guys. US CAD. No, leave it alone, guys, because they're both strengthening at the minute. US Swedish. Yeah, I would probably try and trade that long. Whether that's the place to get in or not, questionable. Maybe let it drop a little bit more first, and then we'll try and get a trade in there, maybe. US yen. Well, there's a little turn on there, guys. So possibly you could try and trade that up, but it might turn complicated, guys. It could end up bouncing along here for a while. But we're looking for long against short. And if you do that as a vector, then there's your pip difference. And at the minute, dollar's pulling back at the minute. Yen's going long at the minute. Dollar's going short at the minute, but the trends are the opposite. So at some point, this could be a half decent trade. Whether it's today or not, it's another thing. Maybe wait later in the week before we try and take that. US Swiss. Yeah, there's no big reason at the minute as to why that would change structure. We're looking for a pullback. We've got one. Long seems to be the trade. Gold. Well, I got a bit of a surprise last week when we got that sharp move up. I think it was Friday. We got that sharp move up in gold, folks. But when I looked at it, I thought to myself, you know what, this is still within this structure. And there was nothing for me to think, well, it's going to break out long. So it's still in this. It could break out long, but I wouldn't bet against this doing one of these guys and then maybe coming along from there. And then at some point, if people want to move to safety, you will get a move up on gold, but I'm not timing it anytime soon, guys. and silver be the same. We had a nice move up in silver. It's stalled there, as it did there. It could end up just doing that, so I wouldn't be jumping into that. Bitcoin, it did the same thing, guys. You can see that they all moved long, but for me, they're still in this structure, and I would not be surprised if yet again this also fell, particularly if the dollar continues to go long, guys, because obviously if the dollar goes long, it alone would pull this down. Although there's more, there's more to Bitcoin than just the dollar price has. There's more to gold than just the gold price, just the dollar, price. But nonetheless, it is an influence, so we'll have to keep an eye on it. We did say on Friday was a little, or Thursday it might have been, there's a little running flat there, and it kind of was broken to there. And there was a nice move up in there. Although, yet again, I would not have got involved there, and I didn't get involved there, guys. It's the same old thing. There are places that are more highly probable. Better. There's a better word. There are places that are better to get involved than others. And when you come into little double tops or double bottoms, it's not a place to get involved. Ethereum also pushed up, but yet again, it's still, for me, within this structure. And I wouldn't be surprised if it dropped. If it doesn't drop, it doesn't matter, guys. What we're doing is looking for places where it would be good value to get involved in something. So if Ethereum dropped the way down to here, that would be a good place to start thinking about buying it, guys. From there, yes, it could push up, but chances are it could drop back, even just down into there, guys. And then you'd start to look to buy it long if you chose to do so. Oil's going to stay up here, guys. We pointed this out the other day. It may well even push longer. EuroCAD, and we're seeing that in this chart. Could be a running flat, could fall further. EuroAus, I took this one the other day, guys. I know I said I would put out little videos when I take things, but I meant stocks. I might put out little individual videos about taking trades on currencies as well. I have to think about that. But anyway, I took this the other day. It's sitting around zero, guys, at the minute. It started coming down here, and I thought to myself, well, maybe we go. Now, I did kind of break my own rules because we were coming into this, previous level where price had been rejected, as they say, and also there and there. So, but I just got the feeling that that there was a bit of momentum going on here against the euro, especially with the dollar going long. So we could see, a few days of this sort of thing, but I do think there'll be a bit more downside to that. Also, if you're a believer in Head and Shoulders and that sort of thing, guys, I'm not, and I don't trade it, but it's there, so let's talk about it. Prices come up, dropped, up, bang. According to Head and Shoulder theory, if that is a thing, this should drop, but I'm not trading it for that reason. I'm trading it because of the fundamentals, guys. Euro New Zealand, yet again, possibly more downside to this. The reason I picked the Aussie over the New Zealand was because the Aussie's been stronger recently. Euro Yen. Yeah, well, we're looking for the yen to drop, which would push this long, guys. But I'd rather maybe trade it against the dollar. Yeah, I'd prefer to take that one than the euro, guys. And then Euro Swiss, not so sure about Euro Swiss. Pound CAD. Well, CAD's going long, and I'm looking for the pound to come long, so I'm not going to trade long against long. We'll have to see what happens with the Aussie. So I wouldn't trade that either. Pound New Zealand. I've been calling it short, guys. I'm going to go neutral on it. I'm going to go neutral on that. So I'm not calling it long, not calling it short. We're going to wait and see what happens there. Pound Swiss. I need to have a look at this chart, guys. Yeah, it's a big, long, complex correction, guys. We move from here up. It's a long, complex correction. You could possibly trade it in that each time it comes down, you trade it up, or vice versa. It's possibly a long trade in there, guys. Let me write that one down. Especially if the dollar goes long and gold starts to drop, then Swiss will go with gold, which means this possibly could be a long trade here. And I've just spied the one that's maybe going to be the best trade. There's pound euro. I don't like trading the pound and euro, guys. This is possibly the trade here. That's pound yen. I'll have to have a think about it. Aussie yen. Yeah, possibly. We've been trying to call that long. Maybe that's put down Aussie yen. If I trade any of these guys, I'll do a little 5-minute video on it. Aussie New Zealand. We're looking for this to go long, but I need a correction in it first. Aussie Swiss. No, leave it. Depend on the gold price, guys. Aussie CAD. Excuse me. Don't like trading that one. They're both commodity based, guys, so I don't have an angle on it. Just trying to clean this up a little bit for us. Yeah, I did say this would go long, folks. When we were here, I'm going to have to start putting charts out again, guys, so that we can just click on it and see it. When we were here, it said don't be trying to trade long, look for a correction, but it'll go long out of there, and that's what we've got. Do you jump in here? I would prefer to have thought about it the other day and bought in there. Then you would have been in the green, put your stop to 0, and then let it do what it's going to do. Given how it's been moving, I would wait and see if it comes back down a little bit and then maybe look to trade it up, with that possibly being your target. Your first target anyway, and then it's up to yourself whether you're holding on for further targets. CAD Swiss. This is another one I'd like to try and trade long, but yet again, I'd have to see it coming down there again. It could push through here, but I would have to see it coming off first. CAD Yen. A little bit more keen to trade this one, but yet again, guys, it's up there. I'd like to see it coming down again, and then trading it from there somewhere. I'll clean these up for tomorrow, folks. I'll better clean this one up now. Let me just pause you. Okay, we did say the other day we're looking for this to go long. There's the alarm. Maybe should have had it a little bit tighter. Nice move up. But yet again, you don't really want to be jumping in there. Although, if you look at that, it could well push on up. But I would have to see something like that and then try and trade it from there from my point of view. New Zealand CAD. Oh, no, I'm not going to trade against the CAD, folks, but it does look like it wants to go long, but I'm not going to trade against the CAD. New Zealand Swiss. And that one looks like it wants to keep pushing up. New Zealand Swiss. And that's it. That's it. I'm going to keep these short now on, guys, and then we'll supplement it with other videos about other things. Okay, I'll speak to you all again tomorrow. Bye for now.